First, let's talk about mowing the lawn. During the summer in many parts of the country, lawn growth slows down in the heat. Now, this is especially true in drier climates. In the fall, though, temperatures start to cool off and precipitation levels increase. This makes fall one of the most active growing seasons for lawns in most areas. For most grasses, the ideal length is between 2 and 3 inches. Don't cut the grass shorter than 2 inches because this will limit the lawn's ability to make and store food for the winter. It's also important to note that in cooler climates, grass longer than 3 inches can mat. Now, matting contributes to winter diseases such as snow mold, which can destroy the lawn. So keep an eye on the length of the grass, but be sure not to cut off too much at once. Experts recommend never removing more than 1/3 of the height of the grass at one time. If you were to cut off more than that, it could stop root growth. So if your uncut lawn is 3 inches high, it's okay to cut off 1 inch, but not any more than that. If the grass is way too long, it's much healthier for it if you mow it multiple times over a period of several days until it's the ideal height. To help keep your lawn looking its best, alternate the direction and pattern every time you mow. Now, this is going to help prevent ruts from being worn into the lawn so the surface stays even. Also, be sure that the mower has a sharp blade. Now, the blade will naturally dull over time with repeated use. A dull blade frays the ends of the grass blades, leaving a white cast on the cut grass. We'll talk more about proper mower maintenance later in this segment. When you're mowing, it's also smart to leave the grass clippings on the lawn. Most newer lawnmowers have mulching blades or attachments that will chop the clippings into small pieces. As the clippings break down, they offer an excellent source of nutrients for the yard. Continue watering and mowing through the fall season until the ground turns cold, or in colder climates, until it begins to freeze. Before putting the mower away for the winter, you'll need to winterize it, and we'll talk more about that procedure in a few minutes. First, though, let's take a look at some fall lawn maintenance tips. In most parts of the country, mid to late October is the ideal time to put on the year's last application of fertilizer. A winterizer is a great idea for colder climates. Winterizers are special fertilizer blends that contain high amounts of nitrogen to help keep the lawn greener later into the season. Winterizers also contain phosphorus to promote strong roots and improve drought tolerance, and potassium to help the grass survive the cold and resist damage from winter traffic. Fall is also the best time of year to control most perennial broadleaf weeds. Now, these are the pesky weeds like dandelions and clover that come back year after year. Crabgrass is the main exception. It's best fought in the spring. In colder climates, unwanted weedy grass will usually die on its own after the first hard frost. To be really sure that the lawn weeds will be gone come spring, spot treat them with an herbicide that's appropriate for the type of grass on the lawn. Unless the yard is completely overrun by weeds, don't treat the whole lawn, just the trouble spots. Remember that many weed killers are highly toxic, so be sure to closely follow the package directions. Another lawn improvement that's best done in the fall is aerating. Aeration helps nutrients penetrate deeper into the lawn's root system. Fall is also the ideal time for reseeding lawns that have bare spots from heavy summer traffic, or those that just look a little sparse and need to be thickened up. For bare spots, loosen the soil about 1/4 to 1/2 inch deep. Water the area thoroughly over several days to settle the soil. Put down a starter fertilizer, then spread grass seed generously over the area. Remember that herbicides will prevent new grass from growing, so it's usually best to either reseed or apply weed killer in the fall, but not both. Now, if weeds are the bigger problem, take care of that in the fall and reseed in the spring. If bare spots are more of a concern, reseed in the fall and then wait until spring to kill the weeds. As the weather gets colder and leaves start to fall, it's important to keep those leaves off the lawn because they'll block out the sun and smother the grass. For proper root development, a lawn needs all the sun it can get in the winter. If the weather has turned cold, the lawn has been fertilized and reseeded, and the leaves are all raked up. Now it's time to winterize the lawnmower. The first step in this process is to drain any remaining fuel out of the tank by running the mower until it runs out of gas. It's best to plan ahead during the last few mowings of the year so that you're not just wasting gas when you do this. Leave the tank empty until spring. Now, once the mower is out of gas, let the engine cool down thoroughly. Next, you'll be working on the underside of the mower. Anytime you do this, it's extremely important to first make sure that the spark plug wire is not connected to the spark plug. If the spark plug is connected, and you turn the mower blade, the engine could try to start and the result could be serious injury. Once you've made sure the spark plug wire is disconnected, turn the mower on its side and clean out all the dried out, hardened grass on the underside of the mower deck. Over time, this grass buildup can promote rust formation. It can also reduce the mower's cutting efficiency by blocking key components. For the next part of the winterizing process, clean the mower with hot, soapy water and hose it off. It's important to let the engine cool down before you get the mower wet, or damage could result. As you're cleaning, be sure to remove any grass from the engine cooling fins. Once the mower is all nice and clean, let it dry in the sun. Another thing you should do before putting the mower away for the winter is to remove the blade and get it sharpened. Consult the owner's manual for specific blade removal instructions, but here's the general procedure. Use an adjustable wrench to loosen the blade. You may have to block the blade to prevent it from turning with a wrench as you try to loosen it. Examine the blade carefully before sharpening. If it has any cracks in it, it'll need to be replaced. Another smart mower winterizing step is changing the engine oil. Most mower manufacturers recommend an oil change after every 25 hours of use, or more frequently in dusty areas. Check the owner's manual for information on each model's particular service needs. The manual will also contain instructions on how to change the oil, and it will specify what type of oil to use. While you're at it, check the air filter too. Depending on the mower model, the air filter will either need to be cleaned or replaced. Check the owner's manual to determine the filter type and location. Most air filters are either made of paper or foam. Paper ones will definitely need to be replaced, while foam ones can often be cleaned and reused. Once the mower's oil and air filter have been changed, use a spray oil such as WD-40 to lubricate moving parts like the mower blade, throttle control, and cables. Then, spray the underside of the deck with a non-stick cooking spray to help prevent grass buildup. Once you've done all this, you're ready to put the mower away for the season. It's best if you can store it inside a shed or garage out of the elements. If you have to store it outside, cover it securely. While fall lawn and mower care may seem like a lot of work, the payoff will be well worth the effort.